Well, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. It is 6:03 p.m. here Eastern Time, 5:03 Central Time, and it is Thursday evening, April 24th. And we have some severe weather out to our west that we want to talk about tonight. We are under the gun for a very marginal risk for severe weather, but it is there. We'll get to that and talk about what that means here in just a second. Today's video update is sponsored by Metal Magic in Washington. Give Chad a call at 698-8555 for all of your paintless dent repair needs. Remember, folks, they do have that traveling hail team, and who knows, it may even come in handy for some of us here tonight as these storms move through, so make sure you write that number down. Tell them Southern Indiana Weather sent you. And, of course, we have another chance coming up on Monday as well, so keep that in mind. All right, just a real quick update here for you tonight. Here we are, 6 p.m. basically. Radar into motion. You can see some severe thunderstorm watches are up out to our west. You can see plenty of warnings along with these lines. Now the question is going to be, when it arrives here tonight, um, is it going to be severe or not? And of course, that's a question that's going to be a big if. But just right now, you can see multiple watches up here, multiple warnings up and down the line. The general movement, as you can see, is to sort of move it up in this way. Let's go over here and take a look at future radar and time it all out for you, and then we'll take a look at what the risk zones are. So here we go into the evening hours, and you can see how this line sort of moves to the east. Portions of it to the northeast over time. Then it starts to make that turn as it moves toward us. Here we are by 1 in the morning before a lot of it is coming through the area. And then very quickly through the overnight hours, it's gone with just some remnant showers. Let me run that through by you one more time so that you can see how it does here. Let's stop it right here. This is about 11 o'clock tonight. By 11 o'clock tonight Eastern Time, you see pretty much knocking on the doorstep of the Wabash River. So again, it's going to be well after dark before this line does move through. That's good for a couple of reasons. The first reason is obviously that could help to weaken the line as it moves through. That is certainly possible, and we'll have to watch that out, but it could still be strong at this time. Certainly, I think it'll weaken as it moves through the state. We'll have to see. The question is going to be how strong these thunderstorms are whenever they get here, and that'll determine pretty much whether or not they can stay severe as the line moves through. And then here we are by 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and you can see it's kind of broken down and moving through. All right, let's take a look at what the outlook is as far as the Storm Prediction Center, and you can see very slight risk. It is a slight risk, but just a very slight corner, a very small corner here of southwest Indiana. Basically, counties right along the Evansville area, along the Ohio River, are under that slight risk for severe weather. Remember, slight risk for severe weather is defined as 15% greater probability of wind. If we take a look at wind probabilities, you can see there's that 15% risk. Most of the rest of us extend into a 5% risk, which again is a very marginal risk. And then you've got a pretty decent shot, a 30% upper end slight risk out to our west towards the Paducah area, south of St. Louis, and on down here into Arkansas. That's where it looks like it will probably be the worst tonight. And as it moves our way, it just moves into a less favorable environment. Not that our environment is overly less favorable than there. We still have some dynamics that'll come along with this as well. The difference is going to be daytime heating as it moves through during the overnight hours. You just don't have the same instability as you have whenever the sun is out. All right. Taking a look at other probabilities, there's your hail probabilities. Very low for us, but still that could be there, but probably not mostly a hail producer. Tornado probabilities also very low. You don't get into the 2% probs until you get down here past the Evansville area, and again the 5% greater probs are down here along with this. All right, so the question is, are we going to see severe weather or not tonight? I'll be honest with you. It is a 50-50 shot for us tonight. Okay, I guess it's always a 50-50 shot, isn't it? But this is really one of those times where, sometimes you can take a look at this and say, I'm very confident that we're going to have severe weather tonight. I'm looking at this and saying it could happen and it could not happen. We don't know at this point. It's going to depend on how fast the line gets here, and it's going to depend on the strength of that line when it arrives here. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I could very legitimately see a scenario setting up where 11, 12 o'clock tonight the line's coming through, and we end up with multiple warnings up and down this line as it moves through. Probably just severe thunderstorm warnings. I could also see a scenario where the line moves through with absolutely no problems at all and we don't have a single warning issued. So heads up, this is what we're facing tonight. We got some rain regardless, and we will be here monitoring it. Keep it right here to Southern Indiana Weather, especially on our Facebook and Twitter accounts, and we will bring you the latest as it happens. Other than that, again, here is the risk for the severe weather as far as as far as we go for today. But let me take you out to the Storm Prediction Center for next week and just really briefly discuss that. On Monday, we also have another chance for some severe weather, and here it is. Remember, this far out, and here's the day 5 probability, and you can see it does eclipse just part of us here again. Remember that on day 5 outlooks, really days 4 through 8, they only issue 30% probability ranges, and they have to be pretty confident that something's going to happen to issue them that far out as well. Because oftentimes they won't issue that far out, and you'll see it start to pop up in the day 3 and 2 outlooks, and you wonder, well, did they not know about it? Well, yeah, they did know about it. They just weren't confident that it was going to happen. We're pretty confident that we're going to see a multi-day severe weather event starting on Saturday, moving into Sunday, and then moving into our area on Monday. And it looks like it could get pretty hairy around here at this point in time, folks. This is an upper end slight risk, so this would be the 30% slight risk. Remember, there is always a 15% slight risk around there, and if I were going to draw it personally, I would draw that 15% slight risk more in a manner like this to include pretty much most of our area. So we'll see what they do with it. It's going to be a couple of days before we get there. It'll be Saturday before we can see whether or not they're going to put us under a 15% slight risk or not, because that would be the first day that we would have it in an outlook where they would issue a 15% risk. So we'll see, and keep it tuned here over the weekend as well, folks. We will bring you the latest. All right. So again, just to wrap up tonight's video, we've got some watches out to our west, plenty of warnings as well. We'll keep an eye on it. Make sure you go to southernindianaweather.com, folks. If you go to southernindianaweather.com, if you go straight to our homepage, remember that we have a great interactive radar product. All you have to do is click on the interactive radar button, folks. And my lights just went out for no reason. The power's not out, but the lights just decided to go off. Okay, well, hopefully you can still see me. But folks, if you have this, if you go to southernindianaweather.com, you can use that interactive radar product, and you can actually do some zooming capabilities with this as well, and you'll be able to see and track that line along with the warnings as it moves our way. All right, that is it for tonight's video, folks. Keep it right here, and we'll update you throughout the evening. For Southern Indiana Weather, I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great night.